So are the Steelers desperate? You know, Gary Duliak um, says on Steelers Depot, he says there's a desperation in Pittsburgh and it's showing. So I guess my question to you, chat, is desperation a bad thing? Like it seems like the Steelers made a bunch of moves and they're desperate to win a playoff game. Isn't that what we've been asking for? Go all out, do some things desperate. But the thing is, they made these desperate moves without sacrificing their future. Like they didn't give up multiple first and second round picks, for to get Jalen Ramsey, like or Jonnu Smith or Aaron Rodgers. Now they gave up a second round pick last year for DK Metcalf, but DK Metcalf was worth it. So what else did they do, that sacrificed their future? I don't think they did anything. So to me, yeah, I think they are desperate to win a playoff game, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. As long as, like I said, is that you're not sacrificing your future. So that's my whole point. My man Tom says making moves to get better is not desperation. I agree with that too. But my thing, I don't mind the desperation talk. I don't mind the Steelers being desperate to win a playoff game because aren't we? I mean, let's just look at it realistically. Aren't we desperate to win at least a playoff game? Of course we are. I know that's not what we want to hear. That's not what we want to say as fans because we're the damn Pittsburgh Steelers. But 8 years, yeah, we're pretty desperate to win a playoff game. So call it what it is. We're desperate. We made desperation moves to try to win one. Okay, I'm fine with it. It's better than doing nothing. It's better than just sitting back and doing nothing and just saying, okay, yeah. There is nothing wrong with being desperate to win. Nothing. I mean, everybody should be desperate to win. Now, everybody's roster is built different to where they're not necessarily have to be desperate. They don't have to be. The Eagles roster, I mean, they won a Super Bowl, but their roster says they're not desperate because they're gonna win. Chiefs, gonna win. Buffalo and the Ravens, as much as we don't like the Ravens, they're gonna win football games, people. So saying that we're desperate, okay, I can live with it. I can live with that. I don't have any problems with being desperate, going all out to try to win. Arch Babies also, what if it looks like desperation? I don't think, like I said, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. So Darren Jackson says more like sense of urgency. Sense of urgency, desperation. I'm with all of it. Al Lewis says, if you're not acting desperate, you're not trying, in my opinion. There you go, Mr. Al Lewis. You're damn right. I don't mind the Steelers being desperate to win. I don't mind them making desperate moves to go win football games. What I mind is, Tanya Jackson's back as a member. Thank you, Tanya. Again, everybody, just want to let everybody know as an update. If you were a member before and all of a sudden you're in here and you're not a member, it's because we lowered the prices on memberships. And YouTube says if you change the spelling on anything with memberships, we kick everybody out. So because we made those changes, you literally have to sign back up. But it's in your best interest because the prices are lower. So hell, you might even jump up a tier or two just because the prices were lower, are currently lower. So we thank everybody for your support and the inconvenience of going through this. I know it's an inconvenience, man. I get it. But yeah, I don't mind the desperation, man. So DCTV Steelers are in the parking lot after the club trying to find stragglers. Okay, we are. I mean, and first of all, DCTV, I love that analogy because as fellas, haven't we all been there? Struck out in the club and we're like, we're desperate. We'll take anything. We'll take anything. And that's where the Steelers are right now. I mean, and look, that's why I love you guys in this chat, in the Steelers Almighty family, people that come in here because I built this thing Me and my partner, we built this on honesty. Yes, I'm a fan. Yes, I'm a fanatic and I'm crazy about the Steelers, but I try to be as honest about them as possible because that's realistic. We don't have to throw a bunch of clickbaity nonsense about Chase Claypool coming to the Steelers to try to attract attention. It'll take longer. Okay, it'll take longer. Fine. But people will be here and stick around because it's real. Bottom line with all of that though is that we're a desperate team, and there's nothing wrong with saying we're desperate. There's nothing wrong with it. So nothing at all. My man Justin Watson, me and Justin Watson don't agree on a whole lot, but we agree on. I shouldn't say not a whole lot. We don't agree on some things, but he's respectful. Um, and he comes back and we talk football and it is what it is. I love that kind of interaction. We don't have to agree. We can disagree and be mad, but we can come back. And he says, I like that there's a lot of cohesive vision for both phases and the future. I don't remember the last time I could say that for all three. That's the whole point. Look, Omar Khan was handed a mess and he's trying to turn this thing around. Okay. And he's doing it slowly. Is he doing all the moves that we want him to do? No, he's not. But he's still flipping the roster in a way that I believe is going to be best for the Steelers. Build the trenches. Get your quarterback when it's time to get a quarterback. Don't try to reach for a quarterback for the future. You know, don't do that. We did that with baby hands, but Omar Khan didn't do that, did he? He didn't do that. That wasn't his draft pick. And as soon as he could get him out, he did. You know, so that's my whole thing about it is you got to start somewhere. You got to build for the future. So look at Mel. Mel said, y'all can keep the lot lizard. Stop it, Mel, man. Every now and then, you got to do what you got to do. But yeah, the Steelers, it's desperation mode. I don't look, bringing in Aaron Rodgers, a 41-year-old quarterback, that screams desperation. Bringing in a 34-year-old corner that can still play because he could still play last year. That screams desperation. Getting rid of a top 3 to 5 safety in the league for a corner that is past his prime, but is still really good. I mean, Jalen Ramsey is still a top 10 corner, people. I don't listen. Now, look, he's still got to go out there and prove it. But based on last year, Jalen Ramsey is still a top 10 corner. And just watch football, and that'll tell you. You know, you can go to the metrics and you can go look at all that data. It'll tell you that too. But if you just go watch, you're like, yeah, this is still a top 10 corner. Is he the best in the league anymore? No, but he's still really good. And is he an upgrade over what the Steelers had? Damn right he is. No matter where he plays, he's an upgrade. He's an upgrade. So, yes, it's desperate, man. I don't know that DK Metcalf was desperation, though. Like bringing in a 27-year-old former All-Pro, still got a lot to prove, a lot to play for. I don't know that that was a desperation move. I think that was just, look, do we want to pay George Pickens or do we want to pay another wide receiver? We know we got to pay somebody. Who would you rather pay? And the Steelers chose DK Metcalf over George Pickens. So I don't think that one was a desperation move. I think that was, we got to change our locker room. And I'm sorry, we can't have George Pickens in our locker room anymore. We're moving on. But we do need to pay somebody. And this is the guy that we're going to choose to pay. That's what I'm thinking. What's going on, Howard? How you doing, brother? So hopefully the deuces that you're staying. I'm not sure. I apologize. I just saw you the deuces symbol. So if you're leaving, peace out. But if you're staying, we appreciate you. But yeah, I just don't. I don't find fault in being desperate at this point. Now, if we were desperate and like our offensive line, like all the draft picks that we have taken with the offensive line, if they all stunk, you know, and the defensive line, they all were terrible, that would be a different conversation. But they're young, they're developing. Regardless of whether we think that the coaches that are in place can develop them, that's a different conversation. But yeah, it's okay to be a little desperate, man. Sometimes, look, yeah, when you play desperate, you make mistakes, but sometimes when you play desperate, you actually play better. You know, when you sometimes you play like you got nothing to lose, you play better. My man Justin Watson became a member, man. We appreciate you, Justin. Thank you for supporting the channel, brother. We really do appreciate it. We do. Howard said, Later's Big B and Steelers Almighty for the second time. We see you, Howard. Thank you, brother. So thanks for coming in. Henry Johnson says Tomlin should have been fired with Colbert, but he wasn't. New GM and the same head coach is like putting on dirty clothes after a shower. No, it's not. Oh, but I get it. There's some people that just don't like Tomlin. And look, Tomlin, if this fails, like the moves that they made this year, we talked about this on the podcast on Friday. If you didn't see it, go check it out. We talked about this. If all these moves that they made, and then we end up going 7-10, then Mike Tomlin's ass is squarely on the hot seat. Squarely on it. Squarely. So there's some of you that think, hey, even if we have a winning season and don't win a playoff game, he needs to be on it. You know what? I've fought that long enough. I'm not going to fight that anymore. You're going to be right. You're going to be right. 9-8 is not good enough. We've talked about that. 10-7, great. But where's the playoff win? Because y'all know what I think. I've told you on several occasions. If there was a way that the Pittsburgh Steelers could get into the playoffs without winning a regular season game, and then we turn around and won 2 playoff games, I'd take that every single year. Now, granted, I know that's not possible. I know it's not possible, but I would do it. So I would do it. So that's where I'm at with it. Desperation. I'm not afraid of desperation. Some people are afraid of it. I'm not. Whether it's bold, whether it's just flailing around to try to find something, whatever. I just like the situation. I like where we're at. My man, Al Lewis says DK signing was smart. I think another wide receiver 2 signing would be great. If not, you go with 12 personnel, use the tight ends to your advantage. I'm good with that. I mean, we're going to need, look, I put together, and we're going to get it out here soon. My producer is on vacation with his family. So when he gets back, I did a little cut up of some Calvin Austin stuff on the outside. Look, Calvin Austin is not the ideal wide receiver number 2. I think he's a better slot. I've said that on many occasions, and I'm not going to be a hypocrite now and tell you, oh, well, he did some decent things. No, I still think he's a better slot. But he can do it if given the opportunity on a more consistent basis. He can do it. And maybe with better quarterback play, we'll see a lot of it. I mean, there's plenty of opportunities. It's like 2nd and 10. Calvin Austin just runs a 5-yard out, catches a pass. Well, that sometimes you just need that from that wide receiver too. Hey, catches 5 yards, so 3rd and 5 versus 3rd and 10. 3rd and 7. He catches a ball for 8 yards, first down. You just need that. It's not like you need that guy. Look, and I know we confuse it sometimes with like T. Higgins. There's not going to be T. Higgins on every football team, or Devontae Smith, or even Jalen Waddle. You're not going to find that with most football teams. But somebody who made it work without any of that is Chiefs. So now, granted, they have Patrick Mahomes, they got Andy Reid, and they got Travis Kelce. Things are different, but it can be done. So we'll see, man. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Again, I'm not gonna ever be a hypocrite and tell you that he's fine at wide receiver 2. We're fine. We can just we still need to go find one if possible. So, but guys on the team can do some stuff. Guys on the team can do some stuff. So let's move on here.